Hello and welcome to Mindset Kitchen. My name is Diana Parokaite and I'm the host of the show. I have an amazing person with me today here and I hope you're excited as much as me. Vicky Alfaro, Queen of Behaviours, Qualified Personality Profiler. Hello Vicky, how are you?
I'm very well, Diana. It's absolutely wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. It's my pleasure as well.
Thank you for inviting me, yeah.
My pleasure. I've introduced you very shortly. And I said earlier, we had a little brief discussion prior to starting to film. And I said, I love the word profiler. It's a great word. And I've never met anyone who does that. So please tell us a little bit about yourself, Vicky.
Oh, thank you. Well, how did I get into this world of behaviours and profiling and stuff? To be fair, I fell into it really because I spent most of my life in the corporate world. Until 2013, August to be precise, 2013, and I got fired from my corporate role, which I didn't see coming, but there's a whole story behind why it happened. And yeah, I remember phoning my husband, I literally left the office and I phoned him and I was just like, oh my God, I've been fired. And he was just like, well, guess you better get on the train and get home and we'll talk about it. And I was a bit like, oh, okay. And the one thing he said to me was, I don't want you to rush into another job, back into the corporate, back into that London, commute. Think about what you really want to do. And so I did. I thought maybe this is the time that I start doing what I'm doing. So I just was facilitating for other people, just working as an associate. And then while I was doing my coaching qualification with the Coaching Academy, I came across the DISC profiling tool. And it was like a light bulb moment. Do you ever have those where you just suddenly go, oh my God, this, a bit like you probably with Mindset Kitchen. Exactly. It's just like, I've suddenly found my meaning, my life. And, I was in my 40s. When people say to you when you were leaving school, what do you want to do when you grow up? I had no idea. I didn't know that I'd find it in my 40s. And I haven't looked back. And since the profiling part of it, I've just built the whole business around behaviours. Because it's not just about our personality, that's the core of who we are. If you think of yourself as an onion and the core of it is your personality, and then you layer all of those other parts to build a big onion on who you are.
Absolutely exciting. And your messages, especially the first one, I really want to know about it. So I will read very shortly because I want to know everything, how to do it, how not to do it, and perhaps maybe you will be able to share some examples as well of certain situations. Vicky has chosen seafood. She said she loves seafood, she loves fish, and she didn't have any allergies or anything for me to overcome or think, in different ways. So it was quite no-brainer for me. I went straight away in something really light, delicious, and quite vibrant, and red color featuring tomatoes. So I am making fillet of hake with clams in a white wine sauce with tomatoes, basil, and garlic. And it will be served with sourdough bread, grilled lightly in my grill pan there, and with a bit of garlic brushed. The bread is just to soak up all the juice there, and hopefully enjoy.
That sounds delicious. I love that you've put a bit of red in there to go with my branding. Obviously, I'm on brand today.
I just thought it's all going to
that sounds delicious. I love seafood. Any seafood, I eat it, and I would eat seafood, 7 days a week.
Likewise, absolutely. I enjoy seafood so much. It feels light, healthy, and I've been ordering my fish from very good fishmongers for over 3 years now since I moved in here, and I discovered, and that's it, no way back. So I always enjoy their fresh fish. Vicky, without further ado, I'm going to read your first message.
Okay.
And then when I start cooking, I'll let you know what I'm throwing in the pan and what's going on. But for now, let's start on your first message. The behaviors ripple effect. How to not let other people's behaviors trigger you to change your behaviors. Please tell me more about it.
So we go along life on autopilot and just do and act and say the way that we do naturally without even making an effort. And then things happen to us, things impact our day. It could be little things like actually just things that impact your behaviours and send the ripple effect off. Like, for example, say you were maybe late on the school run, or you're doing the school run and there's roadworks that you weren't expecting, or suddenly you get a flat tire, something like that will change how you're behaving, and that will have an impact on perhaps your son and how he's behaving, because suddenly you're late and you might suddenly be a little bit more anxious, a little bit more pressured, and that will come across to him, and then he'll be like, oh, and then going into school. So let's stick with the car and let's think about road rage, because I would say most of us at some point in our life, I think most people, if you don't drive, you've been in a car where you've experienced road rage. If you think about the ripple effect of that behaviour, so if somebody has cut you up, you might just be good enough to just, be having a good day and just, a little bit of like, okay, no worries about it. But actually, if somebody cut you up and you perhaps bibbed at them, and then their reaction to that was to perhaps a hand gesture that wasn't polite, as opposed to the sorry, that then might give you another reaction, and then you're driving off in different directions. But you've changed your behaviours. It's not impacting now the other driver. It's now impacting how you're driving. So you may now not let somebody out. You may now be driving a little bit more aggressively. And then that's going to impact. And it's that ripple effect of actually, how do I recognise triggers that change my behaviour? I can do it. I could be having a conversation with someone, and then maybe the conversation has I've got an agenda of what we're talking about, and suddenly somebody throws a curveball in, and I'm like, well, no, that's not what we're talking about. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not ready for that now. Oh, and then suddenly somebody, and you suddenly go, well, hold on a minute, this is not going where I want. So your whole behaviour, which includes your body language, your tonality, everything to do with it changes. And then yours changes someone else's, that changes someone else's. And you've got to think that it is that ripple effect of how can I'm delighted today because I'm coming here to have lunch cooked for me, which smells delicious. Imagine if I was late here and I didn't let you know. I was early because I'm always early. The knock-on effect of that, the knock-on effect of behaviours, it's not just about the words that you use, it's about everything that makes you human and the impact that you have on other people.
It's a great a few examples, because I hope it made you think as much as I was just thinking, because I'm definitely getting those knockoffs quite a lot of times. And if even another example, if I say something and the person doesn't take the right way, and then you get into the argument, and then you could be an hour, 2 hours, or maybe a whole day, because if you can't speak to the person right away, it has a knock-on effect. And I guess you putting it out there, it's making me really think, and perhaps making me find my own parts where I react and let it affect. So can you tell us what to do?
Yeah, just picking up what you said there, though, when you say about, if someone said something, are you talking about the written form? Because a lot of the stuff that we do now is the written form rather than the verbal form.
So I was referring to verbal.
Okay, verbal, yeah. But sometimes we have to remember, sometimes you'll read a message, whether it's WhatsApp, Snapchat, whatever form it is, you might read that, and depending on your behaviour or your mood at the time, go, oh, that's a bit rude. But actually it wasn't written like that, because we're born alone and we die alone. You never know how that was, the tonality of what that was written, and you can put as many emojis on it as possible. You'll not know that. So it's recognizing the trigger. So for example, let's use I'm using driving because, like I say, it's the most things that most people can relate to know to yourself that if someone cuts you up, and yes, you might want to bib the horn, as a way to let them know that they're there. But look at the countries that bib horns. If you've driven in India or Italy, they're all bibbing horns at each other, but no one's angry. No one's got annoyed. No one's shouting. So recognise what it is that's happened to you. And it is that whole mindfulness of, do you know what? Deep breath, because that driver's gone now, and all it's going to do is impact me and my stress levels. And we all know that cortisol is not a good hormone to have too much of in your body. So take the moment to just go, and I often do this with my husband. Sorry, Mark, if you watch this, but he's can be quite a stressful driver, you know, and I think it's a lot easier for him when he's in a sign-written vehicle, because I said to him, people can see you, people can read so, and he will, and he'll just be right, okay, it's fine. So just know the triggers of where your behaviour suddenly changed. But it can also be the little ripples where suddenly you've started the day really well. Actually, yesterday's a classic case for me. So I started the day really in a really good frame of mind. And then I was doing end of month books, signing off the VAT and payments. And it's just, it's tasks that don't bring me joy. It's not my strength. So I noticed by the end of the day, my behaviour, my whole body language, I was just like, oh God. You know, so Mark's come home from work and I'm just like, well, I don't know what about dinner. Whereas he's just like, well, that's not the Vicky I left when I went this morning. What's happened to you? So I just take myself out. I took myself out. I took the dog for a walk. I got myself in the fresh air and I just put myself back in the frame of mind that I was in because I recognised it. And that's the thing, really. It's about looking in the mirror to recognise your behaviours because that's what impacts the other person.
It's true. And I think that you mentioned that word mindfulness because it will happen. We all can get it. And it's not completely avoiding it because it's impossible. You probably will be a robot, you know, rather than a human. But once it comes in, it's being able to take it in your hands and deal with it almost instantly rather than letting you take over, because then you will forget where it's even come from in the first place. That's sometimes I know if I go on with my day and I haven't dealt with it, I'm grumpy for no reason. I have no idea who to blame even. Can't even find the cause within me. Or sometimes I am already in a bad mood and I'm driving or I'm rushing to school and somebody comes on your way and you're like, where are you driving? And you got another, and they keep on popping. And all of those things just keep on going. I think it's because the way you are already, you're almost attracting all that energy. And I get more of people who block my way, people who cause traffic, and for no reason. You're like, why is this happening? It becomes bigger.
Or it might be that would still have happened, but if you had a different mindset. Yep. So if you thought to yourself when you're leaving the house, oh, okay, something's triggered with me today, and I'm in a bit of a grumpy mood. Right, let's get out of that before I get in the car. Because then if that happens to me, if someone gets in my way, it's not going to impact my behaviour. But because my behaviour is already a bit angst, actually someone doing that to me is just going to make it worse. And then that's no way to pick your son up from school, is it?
No.
But also, like you say, someone's got in your way and it's creating more and more for you. It's not impacting them. It's not impacting the other driver. They probably can't even see the mood that you're in. So we've got to think of ourselves, because it's about how we work on that inner self, that mindset of I need to have good behaviours, because when I look in the mirror, I want a ripple effect of a really great behaviour, as opposed to I look in the mirror and go, God, you're grumpy today. Because you're telling yourself that, aren't you? Some negative words that you use on yourself.
I think it's a really good, if it's relatable, majority of people is relatable, the message that you brought. And I think it's really good, maybe a place to start. I would think, for example, creating that mindfulness and awareness around the behavior. Because many times we don't really realize where it's coming from, or if it's coming, how to stop it. It's having intention, I think, in my mind, okay, I'm not going to react so once, I'm not going to react twice, or I'm just going to smile and say, he's probably having a bad day. I'm not going to let my day be affected. And then it becomes easier and easier. I know that because I do that many times, but sometimes it doesn't work. I'm like, But sometimes I'm like, it's okay. Go roundabouts, especially. I have 3 roundabouts to get to my son's school. So it's all, it's wrong. You don't know how to drive around. I'm like, you can see someone just cut me, and I was going through, and I was like, it's okay.
And do you know what? That is the biggest thing. So if someone cuts you up, and yes, our thing is to bib the horn, or if we cut someone up, I'm not saying I'm the, saint of a driver. If someone bibs the horn at me, that react, and it is, you've got to think that the initial reaction is to just turn around and, but actually if we turn around and someone bibs us when we're driving and go, sorry, that really can diffuse a situation going, oh, hands up, it was me. How that would diffuse the situation. Because think of it, if you're the person that's bibbed someone else, yeah, and then if they turn around and go, oh, sorry, suddenly you've gone back to being in that great space, haven't you? It's really about bringing our subconscious reactions to the conscious mind. Even when you're walking along a street, you know, you're busy in, I mean, how many times in London are you walking along and, you know, I mean, the amount of people that are looking at their phone, I'm guilty of it because sometimes I'm looking at a map to go where I'm going. You know, they're doing something on their phone and they're not looking up. You're thinking, you're going to crash into me, you're going to crash into me. Or they do, or someone pushes past you. And, you know, we do, don't we? It's that personal space. And it's just diffusing situation. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
That was me. Didn't mean to.
I agree. The more of us were aware of this, I think it's also to do with kindness. Yeah. It's a lot of kindness, being just okay. Just sometimes people in a rush and lots of things happening in their life, and you never know, right? And it just reminded me of my late husband. He never got upset by anyone. I would be in the train, and he's being pushed with a backpack by someone who hasn't taken off the backpack in the train, and it's cramped, and he's being pushed like right in his chest, and I am annoyed for him. I'm not being pushed. I'm like, tell him to take the backpack. He used to be so calm, and I would learn a lot from him, especially these scenarios how he would never get upset by anyone. I'd be like, no, but it's okay, just let them have it. So I was like, wow, in awe of that. How can you be so calm when so many people are annoying you from all sides? And I think it brushed off on me a little bit, and having that awareness and mindfulness is key, and actually wanting to not let it affect, because what's the point? Life is too short to be annoyed or grumpy about you know, people you don't know, or people who don't know the rules of the road. Who cares?
But people who, I mean, it's a classic case, isn't it? People who get on the tube with a backpack on. But actually, I sometimes think that they've got no self-awareness, that they've doubled in size, you know, and they turn round and you're like, yeah, but you've got a tortoise, you've got your house on your back, love, you know. And I have said it before, you know, when people get on the tube and it gets a bit busier, it's just, or if I might have a backpack on myself and suddenly it's a bit like, actually, I forgot that I've got that on, because when I got on the tube, it was quite empty. But by the time I'm getting off, I'm like, oh, sorry, can I just get that off because I've realised. But actually, I think sometimes when you approach people to say, it's again how you do that. One of the big things for me, big bugbear for me, is people either doom scrolling or reels or anything like that on the train without headsets in. Why do people listen to that without a headset in? And I remember sitting on the train once, and it was a seat of 4, and me and my husband sat opposite each other, and then someone had got on at the next station and sat next to my husband and was watching whatever it was, and it was not in English. I don't know what language it was, so that was a little bit. And I could just see my husband just sitting there, just looking at this person, just going, you know, like this. And so I just leant across and I just said, sorry, can I just ask? I said, do you have any headphones? Sorry? I said, do you have a set of headphones you could put in? Oh, yeah, of course I have. So some people have absolutely no self-awareness of actually, you were watching it on the platform and that didn't bother anybody, but now you're on a train and it's quiet, it's really annoying the people next to him. And they were, yes, I'm not saying everybody's going to be like that, you know, and I'm not one for... You know,
that was brave.
But if you just say it nicely, you know, I could have turned around and gone, mate, can you turn that off or put your headphones in? But it's so do you have a pair of headphones that you could put in? And you could see other people are on the train going, oh, thank God for that.
God, yeah.
I mean, sometimes, can I just say, us Brits, we're a bit too polite, aren't we? We're just like, oh, just suck it up.
That's why I'm surprised. Yeah.
but because of the tonality of the way that you ask people to do things, you know, it's... Manners cost nothing, and being kind to yourself is, you've got to be kind to yourself, because if you're not, no one else is going to be kind to you.
I agree with that. And this has had a little...
delicious.
It's a kombucha, so I'm just going to... So Vicky's having a sparkling English blush kombucha here, and when I top it up, it's going to sound a bit like opening a champagne. But this is
not champagne. I'm driving.
Delicious kombucha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll show you later where I've got it, and you can take a picture. So This actually has put me really nice on my path to school later today. I will be very, very aware. And thank you so much for bringing this message, actually. It's almost, there's so many things as humans we want to do to change, to grow, and to internally, externally. It's just so much to remember sometimes. And I think little reminders of what I want to focus on, let's say for the next week, maybe, or for the next half year, I want to focus on not being triggered by other people's behaviors or other things or anything. Like if this pen is going to splash, really, I'm just going to say it's okay. I'm not going to start shouting and at it or getting frustrated. So it's a little reminder for my own self-awareness treasure box that I will be focusing on it much more. So thank you so much.
Things will always go wrong. It's
Indeed.
life. Things will not always go as we plan, but it doesn't mean that we have to change who we are. We just have to recognize the triggers that change your behavior.
So if the meal does not go well today, Vicky will not be upset.
Because it won't go down the same way. It's fish, isn't it?
It's fish.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start cooking.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I'm doing. So I've got here it's a lot of garlic, but the garlic is just, I love garlic. I've got 3 cloves of garlic going in the pan here. It will all blend in and work nicely. Oh, I'm splashing already. See, here you go. And then I've got some red pepper flakes. So it's not chili. I mean, you said you wouldn't mind chili, but I use this a lot. It's, do you know what's red pepper flakes?
No.
It's red pepper. It has a little hint of spiciness. So it's not too much, but it adds more flavor rather than the spice. So I really love this pepper. We're going to cook for a little bit. You don't want to, I don't know how much you cook, Vicky. I always ask that my guests because I'm interested if they spot me doing something wrong.
No, I love cooking, but I'm just admiring the fact that you've got the hex-clad pans there because we've just bought them. They are amazing.
I know that you are cooking then if you got hex-clad pans.
Yeah.
So you know that garlic, if you cook it too long, it starts browning and then it starts tasting bitter.
Yeah.
So we straight away put tomatoes, and now I'm going to leave. So for people who watching us, listening to podcast rather than the video, the sounds you're hearing is just tomatoes and garlic frying,
smell.
And the smell
wow.
for Vicky. It's unbelievable. This combination.
Yeah, exactly. You've just put a few things in the pan. I'm like,
that's it. So let this simmer slightly. Then what I will do, I will read your second message. And I think whilst we're talking about it, I will add into the pan white wine. It's going to evaporate, so alcohol will not stay. A bit of chicken stock. This is totally my creation. Yesterday I tried without it, and I tried a bit with. And I was like, okay, it had smoothness. So chicken stock, lemon juice, just half a lemon juice, and a bit of sugar because it's quite acidic in that. Mm-hmm. Basil and some clams. And then what's going to happen, I'm going to take the sauce out and lightly pan fry the fillets of fish before putting the sauce back in and toasting some delicious bread. So, my lovely, I have your second message, which is having a trusted circle of people to run to, more so for the downtimes. Where did this come from and why this message?
So this has come really from running my own business for the last 10 years, because running your own business, as you could probably, agree to, is actually a lonely place because you don't have that trusted circle. But even if you're in the corporate world, who do you trust to be able to turn to that you can offload, that you can run ideas past? But it's when I say trusted people, because I've done it in the past where I've thought that I've had trusted people and I've gone to them with something to run an idea past. And then the next thing I know, they're also running that idea.
Wow.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that coming. So it's, like I say, trusted partners. But when I talk about the downtimes, I'm a very happy, I'm a very positive person, but I'm not like this 24/7. Like I say, yesterday I was doing my worst thing of doing the end of month, end of quarter. And so actually it's not a good space for me to be in. So I know that, and I just took myself out. But actually there could be times when maybe I've lost a client, or maybe something hasn't gone wrong, that actually I feel like I just want to cry. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I need to be able to tell someone.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to let that out to someone that I can trust, that then also isn't judging me, is just there to just, wipe the tears, not physically, but metaphorically, and just help me get back up to where I need to be. I've got a small circle, and it is only a small circle, because I've come to learn that too big a circle dilutes it. So it's finding the people, and it has to be a two-way street as well. It can't just be you to them all the time. They have to be able to come to you. So you have to find someone you can have a two-way street with, and that's really special. But like you say, it's a trial and error. In the last 10 years, there are certain people that are now no longer in my inner circle, and they're actually not even in the outer circle either. They're just over there, parked over there. And I've parked you over there, and I know why you're there, and you probably don't even know that you're over there.
Yep.
But things that have happened mean that you won't actually come back in. I'm very much about trusting people, but if you break the trust, it's probably broken forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually quite interesting. You brought this message because I was looking at my friends over the past 5 years or so, especially so after my husband's loss as well. You realize who your friends, and you realize who you did not even think that they could be the people you could rely on those downtimes. They were there, and it made you rethink, and then almost like reevaluate your precious time on this earth and how much more time I can give to certain people. And to me, like you said, the trust, I don't think I can rebuild it. I can forgive people very easily, but that trust element, I don't really know how to rebuild, to be honest. It's something I've looked into this yesterday, and I thought, well, the only way I can rebuild this trust, I don't know, maybe if for the next 5 years, on my downtimes, this person really tries and proves. There are exceptional circumstances where you can, there was some sound, ignore it. There are exceptional circumstances. Okay. James, you're going to pause and I'm going to restart again. James, DJI might have switched off, and I don't know why. It's still recording, but I'm going to ask Al to cut it off. Can you see if it's switched off?
Yeah.
That's it. I think it's something to do with the space, although
It's got 1 second, it says that in SD. That's it.
Okay, so we have this. Is that camera still seeing me in here?
Very, very little. This one does a little bit.
Yeah, but that's food. I'm talking about me by the pen.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stay here on the side. Ignore that one. We need to look into it why it's switched off. It's only me anyway, this camera.
Technology.
Okay,
Sorry.
thanks.
Much trust.
So in those exceptional circumstances, I think there is a way to build the trust back. It depends what's happened as well. You can't be there with the person, watching the person doing something and making sure that they are doing what they're doing or what they said. But to me, the trust,
that's the hard bit. But you've got it right there. It's a bit like when I say there are people that I've moved from the inner circle to the outer circle that are now like over here. They've no idea that they're over there. It's just where I've put them because I've forgiven what they've done. So they're still around, but you can't come back to the inner circle because you've broken the trust. And I'm, and some people go, oh, you just hold a grudge. I'm like, no, it's not about holding a grudge. Because if I held a grudge, I wouldn't forgive. I've forgiven, but I can't give you that trust element back again. Like for example, if you gave someone £100 to look after, and then they went and spent it, and you just go, well, I just asked you to put it in your pocket, and you've spent it. Therefore I can't trust you. You might then, I might forgive you because time moves on and I don't want to, it impacts how you behave. But actually, that trust element, I wouldn't ever lend you £100 again or ask you to put it in your pocket because I'd never be able to trust you that you wouldn't spend it. But yeah, I'd still be, friends. We can still do that. It's changed the level of how we see each other.
And I think having the trusted circle of those friends, and it's usually very little, I think. From what I hear from all the friends that I have, it's 2-3 people, or it could be even just one person. It shows how difficult to find those special people who you can trust in those downtimes, good times and downtimes, to fully trust, and that you don't sometimes even say a word and they will understand, or they will be there, or they will do what they said, or they will never let you down.
Yeah.
But just having 2-3, it's a big difference to your life, I think, because it becomes almost like a family, extended family.
Yeah. But it's also knowing that, we don't have the same people in our lives from the day we were born to the day that we die. But people come in and out of lives for a reason. You suddenly might think, well, why has this person come into my life? Is it to teach me a lesson? Is it to guide me? But you've got to also think about, well, why am I in their life? What am I teaching them and what am I guiding them for? And just think about trust. I always say to people, in terms of the people that you trust and rely on, if it was, I don't know, 2:00 in the morning and your car broke down and you were stranded somewhere, I know you've got the AA and the RAC and other rescue companies are available, but who could you trust to phone that would help you out of that situation? When your husband sadly passed, who was it that you trusted straight away to pick the phone up to, knowing that you could trust them, that you could be 100% you? It's those things. And like you say, that's generally a very small circle.
It is. It made me think about that person, and I know that person knows who it was. And I think that's all. It's all you need, because, and especially in the downtimes, because many times, normally in this day, you're just strong by yourself and doing your own things, and it gave me so much. I remember when I'm referring to this same time, it gave me so much comfort, and I felt loved. The time that you needed every positive emotion around you, and many times these kind of friends as well will know what to do, or will not do or say anything, but just be there.
Yeah, because sometimes you need to have somebody, like you say, that you can trust, not because you need to be fixed or you need anything. Sometimes it's just, you just need somebody to hold space for you, and that's really special when you find people that will do that for you.
So can I ask, Vicky, why I know speaking this message is important, but why did you choose this? Because I'm pretty sure you had to go through a repertoire of messages, but can you just tell me why is this message? Is it something special in your life that made you reflect that time when I asked you, or if not too personal?
Yeah, there have been times in my life when I have felt incredibly alone. When I had the courage to leave my first husband, who was a narcissist. I didn't realise that at the time when I married him, and I have never felt more alone when I needed to leave. Yeah. And then when I got the courage to leave, the people that were around me to pick me up. So like I say, I'm a very happy person, I'm a very positive person, but that doesn't mean to say I have been all my life. So, and I know there are other people that aren't as positive, that just, it was to reinforce the message to find the trusted people in your life. But it's a two-way street. Always remember that. It's a two-way street.
You cannot always expect people to do things for you or be 100% with you, and you don't deliver the same.
That's the whole thing with the life, the universe, the planet. I'm a big believer in what you put out there is what you attract back again. And now some people might go, it's a bit woo-woo, isn't it? Yeah. But it's not.
It's not.
You get out of this life what you put in it. And if you put out into the atmosphere about helping and supporting others, your trusted partners will come through to you.
It's definitely not a woo-woo, and I know, Vicky, because we are all energies. And we are all connected. And whatever energy is around you, is going to attract the same energy. It's just logic to me, their logic. Before, I never used to even think about these things. But especially I had a Bruce Lipton lecture last Saturday, so he spoke about various things about how our thoughts and obviously energies and how we all came here to be in this one universe as all of us together. And he was showing various interesting things about, let's say, family, and showing their energetic fields around them. And let's say you have this field going round and round, various layers, and then these layers interlink with another person next to you, and even your dog would be having that same energy. And then it shows how we just all connected. So sometimes people, oh, how strange, I was just thinking about you, you know. I mean, I knew for some reason you're going to, maybe because it's subconsciously, I know you love wearing red, and it's a red color. It's a lot in your representation and photos that I've seen. But maybe subconsciously I was like, I think Vicky is going to wear red today. It's just for some reason I just thought, oh, so what should I wear, you know? So I just had to kind of think about it. And it could be either, you know, it could be that we're connected. Our thoughts are connected. Maybe you were putting on red and thinking, and I'm thinking the same moment about that. So it's quite fascinating. And if we all realize actually that connection exists there.
It's what, you know, when people go, oh my God, I've just had a deja vu moment, and they say it, and that's fine, and then they move on. But actually, if you actually think, why have I had that deja vu moment? What's happened? And it all depends on, you know, whether you are spiritually connected and you want to think about things like that. But the conversation we were having before, when I first came here, you know, when you talk about the spiritual connection that you have, I mean, you know, if you don't mind me bringing in the fact that you talked about the spiritual connection that you have with your late husband, and the fact that because you have spiritually connected, you're able to find more peace with his passing. And you don't want to live in a state of grief forever, because that's not going to help you or your son or, you know, the other people in your life.
He's in my trusted circle. His energy is living in my circle fully. And I know if I'm feeling down or missing him too much, I can go reach out to him, and he makes me happy. He tells me, I'm here. All you have to do is just call my name or think about me, and I'm here. And that realization is extremely powerful. One way is knowing, another one is feeling. And when you connect both, it becomes absolutely real. You cannot deny it. So to me, it's real, and you cannot deny it. But it took a lot of practice and to get there, because I wanted to get there. And obviously the path was a bit easier than someone pushed me to get there and go find out. It had to come from within. But definitely all of those aspects, and the trust and trusting yourself that you are the person who is going to be reliable, or I don't know, could be punctual, or you will be there for friends when they call you, or they don't call you, but you will know you will be there. And it's in that connections are priceless. And if we all could actually take a moment to identify who are those people in your life that are your trusted people. And I promise there might be some surprises.
Yeah.
In those down times or horrific times that you might go through, there will be people who come to help you that you did not expect. So start looking into that, and almost expect the unexpected, because people are really kind, and they not always may share how much they mean to you. They will show you.
Yeah.
At those times. So Vicky,
don't tell me you love me. Show me that you love me.
Exactly. That's another message. Another one. For me, it's all about actions.
Yeah.
So Vicky, what I've been doing here, and for the
delicious.
Thank you. For the guests on the audio as well, I've been shaking clam pan, our hex-clad pan, shaking the clams. They all nicely opened. It's just wine evaporating. I just tasted, and it's nearly done. I'm going to now take this bowl and take the sauce out in a bowl, because I want to lightly fry the fish and toast the bread, which actually will go in now. And I'm going to read your third message in a moment. So I've got sourdough bread here, not homemade. I am a queen of making everything from scratch. But today, I'm a queen of making from scratch. There's 2 queens in here, but not today, because my starter, you know, the live starter that you grow for bread, died quite a few weeks ago. So I haven't had a chance to create a new one. but I am a sourdough bread junkie. So this is one of the best ones I know you can get, because sourdough needs to be good. And some shops, they say it's sourdough, but I'm like, no. I've tried good sourdough. And I think, well, my late husband made the best sourdough I ever tried anywhere in the world. I'm not kidding you. If you even go to the best restaurants, they bring you sourdough. There was something about his method, clearly, which I cannot replicate. Anyway, so this, I've just put lovely olive oil on top of sourdough bread. It needs to just kind of soak in, and I'm explaining Vicky's fine with that.
I'm dribbling for those of you who are listening. I'm that one. I just eat it like that.
And over here, I have a grill. I make cheese toasties and all sorts in here. So I'm just going to close it and leave it. And there'll be some garlic that I'm going to rub. So now I'm going to, I hope you replicate this meal at home.
I think I should.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
And the husband loves clams.
There you go.
He does love fish, actually, but probably me more than him is the fish eater. And if we go out for dinner, I will generally choose the seafood option.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I think I make lots of fish at home, but I wouldn't choose, for example, chicken, because I'm like, I eat chicken every week because it's just an easy meal to make, healthy. So fish is also always on my radar when we go out. I'm going to fry the fillets now, but I'm going to read the third message, which is one of the messages I think, unbeknown to me, I probably live by as well, because imagine I had so many amazing guests here, and if they told me things and I don't agree, you close your mind and you're almost never going to actually realize how important, or what important messages or little things were within the conversation that you had with that person. So this is a really good message for all of us to realize. Open your mind when you are with someone different. It's a great way to learn. Aren't we all different?
We're all very different. Like I say, they say that we are born alone and that we die alone because our thoughts are our own. And the best way to grow is to be with people who are different to you. Now, and that's, you naturally migrate to people who are very similar to you, not just about personalities, but it's about values, it's about belief systems, it's all of that. You naturally hang out with people who are very similar to you. And that's not always your family, because you can have conflict in family, but your friends, the people that you choose to be with, are those that are similar. But when you've got somebody with a different opinion, a different mindset, a different value, different personality, whatever it is, it's about, what can I learn from this person? Because if the world, well, to be fair, if the world was full of me's, it'd be exhausting, because I'm a bit like Tigger or Donkey from Shrek, I have been called as well, which is lovely. But if you're not Donkey from Shrek, or if you're not a Tigger, you'll find me exhausting. So it's about actually where, for example, you're from Lithuania. I learn from you about life and culture. Culture's a massive one. We're in a very, very small world. Let's learn from the people who are different from us. What is it about your belief system? Tell me about it. Talk to me about what I can learn from you. Not, well, you're different to me, therefore I'm going to ignore you, which is unfortunately too much the case, especially here in the UK, can I say.
It's an interesting one, because what it makes me think is many times we have our own beliefs, our own views, perspectives. And the reason they're called beliefs, because this is what I believe. So when someone else comes in and says, well, no, this is what I believe, and have you ever thought about this? Majority of the times, people want to defend themselves, defend their belief, and sometimes it's from heart. I want you to believe what I believe, or I want you to see what I see, and it does not always work. And I think, as you say, it's the best way is to listen, understand, and sometimes it comes back to you much later. Because many times I talk to someone and I have no idea, like I would never have thought, and makes me think, and then reflect a little bit later, and then some scenario comes in. I'm like, well, I know someone who's actually believes this, or who does this, or who understands this.
Yeah.
Because many times you actually create these connections as well by being open to other people's way of living, perspectives.
Yeah,
The more the better.
but it's like you say, it's like, this is my belief, but it's my belief. It's what I believe in. It doesn't mean that it's truth. You know, you have a different belief system to me. You know, we probably have some bits that cross over, and we have similarities. You know, our values are probably quite similar. Our personalities are quite similar, but actually there will be cultural differences. There'll be other things. I mean, okay, let's put it in a very, very simple terms. I'm not saying to you that 2 + 2 = 5. Yeah, 2 + 2 = 4. And you'll agree that 2 + 2 = 4. But I might be like, no, 2 + 2 = 4. And you might, yeah, but so does 3 + 1. And so does, so does 6 - 2. So we've got to the same end, but we just took a different journey. So it's like, no, it's not always 2 + 2 = 4. Actually, let's do 10 - 6. That will also equal 4, won't it? Oh, it will, won't it? Yeah, we could do it that way. So it's like, actually, have we got a common goal that we need to get to? Okay, let's agree on the common goal, but let's look at all the different journeys that we can take to get to that. And let's not just, the minute someone says something that doesn't match your beliefs, don't close them off. Be open to go, teach me a different way. Because I'll learn. And if I learn, I'll grow. And when I grow, I become a better human.
I think that the other ingredient also really helps is curiosity. Because I know sometimes if I say someone, or let's say I've been on the Bruce Lipton lecture, and this is what he's about, and some people be like, that's it, conversation killer almost. Okay, great, great, you had fun. How about be curious? Why do you go to see him? What made you? And what is it? Because it's not nothing, it's something that you don't know about.
Yeah.
It's like that knowledge that you're missing out on.
Yeah.
And knowledge is power. And many times we do kind of dismiss because you don't understand, you don't agree. But imagine if every single time you wanted to learn more.
Yeah. Like you say, it's you don't understand. No, but you don't understand because you haven't opened your mind to come and find out what it's about. Come and listen. And if you still don't want to, understand it, then fine. But you have to give things a chance.
I think it's a way of also respecting people and connecting. Because I have people who are really curious in my life. And I really value that and appreciate that, because sometimes the curiosity by the people who questioning brings out lots of things in my mind as well. And I didn't even know I knew that. It's almost like my knowledge gets intensified because I'm talking about it.
Yeah, because we only use a small percentage of our brain. You've got to think about how much of this stuff that we've got going on that you think, yeah, I remember that. Oh, God. And again, connections. People come into your life for a reason. Is it to help you? Is it for you to help them, support them, put them on a different path? We just need to go, well, what is this great thing called life? Because none of us know our expiry date. I think we just all know we're not getting out of here alive.
Yeah.
And whether you are spiritual and think that you go on to another spiritual world or whatever that is, that's, your belief system, my belief system. But actually what I do want to know is that when I get to the end of each day, have I given my best for today? And I'm not that, woo-woo that I just go, yes, I get to the end of each day and I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that. Some days I get to the end of the day and I go, oh, that was a bit of a pants day. So what I need to make sure that I do is tomorrow I need to make it a better day. Who have I impacted today? What have I done today? I've had a great conversation. I'm now going to also have some great food. Trust me, this looks amazing. And if you're just listening, it smells amazing.
It does have, for me, thank you, Vicky. For me, it's the simplicity is the key in everything I do, I think. Not overcomplicating food is it's always going to have that little bit of magic, because you seeing it's quite simple, and I want to influence people to also be able to try and cook things at home from scratch.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't, do they?
No, because you would think if you got this meal in the restaurant, clams open, fish sitting there, and you would think, oh, I'm not going to make this at home. But actually, it's quite easy. It's only a few ingredients as well, and when it's a few ingredients done well, the food can taste absolutely delicious.
Yeah. And well, if you look at all the bits that you've used, most of them are from a staple cupboard.
Yeah.
It's the fish, as in the hake, and the clams and the tomatoes are the only bits that you've bought fresh. Everything else is something staple that you can have. Is it?
You're in for a treat.
No.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything is now cooked. So the fish is cooked. The hake is quite flaky. It falls apart really quickly, whereas cod holds the texture inside a bit more. And when it falls apart as a chunk. But yesterday I decided to cook hake because it's almost creamier. And I don't know, I don't eat often hake. But I went to my fishmongers and got hake instead, unbeknown to me how it will be. Because it's cod usually is a white fish for me.
Yeah. But you're trying something different. I like that.
So, Vicky, we had a lovely conversation about these messages. Anything else you would like to add on behaviors and having ripple effect, or trusted circle of friends, or open mind?
Well, just to summarise it, to say, recognise the triggers of what changes your behaviour.
That's so important.
Keep an open mind when someone has a different belief or value to you. And know who's in your trusted circle.
And all of those three things, it's quite easy to do.
It's quite easy to do.
You got it right here, right now.
It's about living life in the happy lane. Yep, you've only got one lap of this thing called life, and you're in the driving seat. So if you're not happy with the direction, indicate and change lanes.
It's definitely, the trusted circle, I've analyzed that, and it's definitely one of the things that it's almost having that awareness. It really makes a big difference. It makes you stronger as well, makes you feel powerful. I know my spiritual world is the world that is not necessarily recognized by everyone, but it's that world as well that gave me strength. I actually felt fearless. So having people here on earth, spiritual, or wherever else you want to have, makes you become stronger.
Yeah.
And I think, as with everything, alone, you don't have so much strength, you don't have so many abilities when you put all together. So 3-4 people as a group community, it makes that universe is how it all comes together. So beautiful messages. Thank you so much for bringing them. They're just what we all have and what we should focus on if we want to just be there for people, be kind, and not affect our lives for our little things that really don't matter.
Live life in the happy lane, as I said.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Okay, my lovely. So I'm going to serve you the lovely fish. Well, first I'll take out the fish. Pop it in here. The smell.
I can smell it. Honestly, it is. It's just like, wow.
You might need some perfume to wash away the garlic smell from you later. It's very strong, but it's, for a reason like that, because I want you to taste. I think it's almost like a little bit of Italian dish as well.
Oh, can you hear my stomach rumbling in that as well?
No, I didn't hear though, no. But that's a good sign.
That's a very good sign.
We love that.
Yeah. I might need a bib as well.
I'll give you a bib. You've got a napkin there, but let me know if you need something stronger. Okay, so we have hake with clams in a white wine and tomato sauce.
Wow.
With garlic salad.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Go. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you for sharing these wonderful messages. And I hope the audience and the people who were listening to us can totally feel our hearts here today. We're really open.
Yeah. With
kindness and vulnerability and sharing your life story. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.